मुदाकरेण पुस्तकं दधानमीशरूपिणं तथा परेण मुद्रिकां नमत्तमो विनाशिनीम् कुसुम्भवाससावृतं विभूतिभासि फालकं नतागनाशनेरतं नमामि शङ्करं गुरुम् अज्ञानान्तर्गहनपतितान् आत्मविद्योपदेशैः त्रातुं लोकान् भवदवशिखातापपापच्यमानान् मुक्त्वा मौनं बटविटपिनो मूलतो निष्पपन्ति शम्भोर्मूर्तिश्चरति भुवने शङ्कराचार्यरूपा गुरुरेव गतिः गुरुमेव भजे गुरुणैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे न गुरोः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोः मतिरस्ति गुरौ मम पाहि गुरो. Ram Ram Ram. A very happy Guru Purnima to all of you, and let us continue looking into the life and go on our journey in the life of Sri Adi Shankaracharya, a prime example of an Acharya and a Guru. In the last video, we concluded with the auspicious birth of the child to Shivaguru and Aryamba. Vidyaranya Swami now describes not just the birth of Shankara or the young child to Shivaguru and Aryamba, but the influence it had on the surroundings. Vidyaranya Swami states that the animals like the lion, tiger, serpent, which usually display their animosity and enmity to other animals, on this occasion, on this day of the birth of Shankara, totally let go of this animosity and enmity, and they came together to harmoniously celebrate this divine birth. Following this, the child gave immense joy to the couple. But the next important aspect was naming the child. While it was true that the child was born by the grace of Lord Shiva, Shiva, who has Mahadeva, Shankara, Shambhu, all these various names, what particular name of Shiva has to be given to this child? Well, when Shivaguru looked at the young child, he was filled with affection, happiness, and also he could feel a sense of auspiciousness emanating from the child. And what better name than Shankara? Sham karoti iti Shankaraha. One who does auspiciousness, one who brings auspiciousness is Shankara. And hence, Shivaguru decided to name the child Shankara. The child was brilliant and exemplary. Vidyaranya Swami mentions that the child started to speak by the age of 1. By the age of 2, the child was very eloquent and it had even started to write. This was the brilliance of young Shankara. Shivaguru was a very learned and educated person. So the young Shankara started listening very earnestly to the various Puranas and Kavyas that Shivaguru had to narrate. And it started trying to understand right from that young age. There is a small anecdote that is mentioned here, which is usually not part of any historical aspects. So this is called a Lok Katha, which is mainly to bring out the greatness in Satpurushas rather than being of historical importance. So the place where Shivaguru, Aryamba and Shankara were residing was very close to a Krishna temple. We will later even see this in his various compositions that Shankara had an affection towards Krishna, and whenever he wanted to bring out Vishnu in his works, he used to affectionately call him by the name Murari. Bhagavad Gita Kinchitadhita Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita Sakridapiyena Murari Samarcha Kriyate Tasya Yamena Chacha. So in this way, Shankara had one affectionate corner to Krishna. So the story goes that it was a daily ritual for Shivaguru to go to this Krishna temple, present the Naivedyam and bring back prasadam to his family. On one occasion, Shivaguru had to go to another place and hence called young Shankara and asked him to go on his behalf. Shankara, eagerly ready to do it, agreed. So he took the Naivedyam prepared by his mother Aryamba, went to the Krishna temple, placed it in front of him, and sung a few songs on Krishna. And he waited there. The idea in the mind of young Shankara was this. He thought when he presented the Naivedyam to Krishna, Krishna Paramatma himself will come out from the Garbhagriha, eat the Naivedyam and give back the prasadam. So this was the idea that Shankara had. And he expected this to happen. So he waited there for minutes turned to hours, and there was no sign of Krishna. So Shankara started crying. Krishna was moved by these tears of Shankara, and he immediately emanated from his idol and came in front of Shankara and asked, "O Shankara, why are you crying?" For which Shankara responded, "What is this, Krishna? I have been waiting for you eagerly so that you can come and eat this Naivedyam. When my father comes, I have seen that he comes back home in 5 minutes. So you appear before my father so quickly. Why did you take so much time to appear in front of me?" The Krishna Paramatma was pleased by the words of Shankara and immediately consumed the Naivedyam. And he looked at Shankara and asked, "Are you satisfied?" Now Shankara again started crying. Now Krishna asked, "Now what is the problem, Shankara?" For which the boy replied, "See, I asked you to consume Naivedyam, but you ate everything. Now what will I take back home to my parents as prasadam?" So this beautiful conversation, this very small detail in the life of Shankara brings out the affection he had towards Krishna and the divinity in him that even the Lord had to come in front of him. This is brought out. And this is seen in several other bhaktas as well, like Namdev. They also have such incidents in their Jivana Charitram, which you can go through. So, this young Shankara was an apple to the eye to their parents. But tragedy did strike. When Shankara was just 2 to 3 years old, his father passed away. Here, Vidyaranya Swami mentions a very touching shloka. He says, "Iha bhavet sulabham na sutekshanam, na sutaram sulabham vibhavekshanam, sutamavapa kathanchidayam dvijo, nakhalu vikshito maishta sutodayam." A very touching shloka where he tells that it was not easy for Shivaguru and Aryamba to be blessed by a son. But in spite of this hardship, Shivaguru somehow managed to please Shiva and obtain Shankara. But Nakhalu Vikshito Maishta Sudodayam. But alas, it is his bad fate that he did not live to see the glory that his son would achieve, the various achievements his son would be able to achieve in his life. So, in this way, Shivaguru passed away at a very young age. But Aryamba, as a very strong mother, she raised Shankara. She performed the Upanayana Samskaram of Shankara at the age of 5. Following this, Shankara started following the aspects of a brahmachari. He started going to the Gurukula and learning various aspects of knowledge from his acharyas and gurus. He learned the Vedas, Vedangas, and so on. Here it is mentioned that Shankara was a very brilliant student, as I mentioned before. But the greatness is brought out when Vidyaranya Swami mentions that Shankara was able to grasp anything that he heard and was told by just listening to it once. The person with this capability is called an Eka Santagrahi, one who can remember, understand, and store something in his memory by just listening to it once. Further, Shankara not just learned these various Vedas, Vedangas, etc., but also became highly proficient in it. His authority is said to be equal to the rishis and acharyas who gave those works to us. For example, Vidyaranya Swami compares that the authority on the Vedas of young Shankara was equivalent to Brahmadeva himself who gave us the Vedas. His authority and control on Vedangas was equivalent to Gargya Muni, who gave us these. So, in this way, Shankara not just amassed knowledge, but he also became an expert in those aspects. So, very soon, he became very knowledgeable in all the things he learned. As a part of Brahmacharya comes Bhikshachana. So the Brahmachari goes from house to house requesting for alms, and whatever he gets as alms is what he consumes as food for that day. So this was part of Shankara's life as well. On one such occasion, Shankara visits the house of a lady and he asks, Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi, Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi. The lady of the house comes out of the house. She looks at Shankara and her eyes fill with tears. Shankara is perplexed and he's thinking, what is the reason that this lady has started to cry? For which she tells, and Vidyaranya Swami beautifully composes, Vidhina khalu vanchita vayam vitaritum vatavena shaknumaha api bhaikshama kinchanatvato dhigidam janma nirathakam gatam. She presents her plight, telling that this young boy emanating with all the glow and knowledge, this Vatu has come to our house asking for just a bhiksha. But fie on our fate, fie on the ill fate of ours that we are even unable to give bhiksha to this deserving Vatu. So the house is actually in utter poverty, and the lady is presenting the pain that she is even unable to give bhiksha to young Shankara. Now Shankara is extremely moved by the words of this lady. So he immediately closes his eyes and prays to Lord Mahalakshmi, Goddess Mahalakshmi. Mahalakshmi appears before Shankara, and what happens further? The conversation between Shankara Lakshmi is only visible to Shankara and not to the others around. So once Mahalakshmi appears before Shankara, she smiles and she directly mentions, Shankara, I very well know what is the reason that you have thought about me and you have asked me to appear here. I know that you want to know, or you want this lady to be blessed with prosperity. But listen to me, Shankara. This lady has not done any good deed in her previous janma. She has not done any sort of charity, dhanam, in any of her janmas. As a result, in this janma, I have not blessed her. Shankara understands what Mahalakshmi is telling, and he tells Mahalakshmi, I understand, Mata, that you have your reasons to not bless her, but I have only one request. Can you please fulfill that? For which Mahalakshmi asks, what is it, O Shankara? Shankara tells, Phalamadya dadasva tat phalam dayaniyo yadi teham indire. O Mahalakshmi, O Mata, today, I know in her previous births, she has not done any kind of good deeds, but today, on this occasion, she has given me one dried amalaka. So, the lady, when she finds nothing to give as bhiksha, she goes back into her house and comes back with one dried amalaka, that is an amla fruit, and gives it to Shankara as bhiksha. And this is the reason that Shankara is moved by the actions of the women, and he prays to Mahalakshmi. And he is telling Mahalakshmi that, oh Mahalakshmi, today this woman presented me with this one amalaka. So just I request you to give her the fruit of this one good deed that she did, and that is all I ask from you. Without a second word, Mahalakshmi agrees, and she blesses Shankara, and she blesses the lady and vanishes. As stated before, all the lady gave Shankara was one dry amalaka. But the blessing that she received from Mahalakshmi was that the house filled with golden amalakas, kanaka-amalakas. So this is the blessing of Mahalakshmi. What this indicates is all it takes is one small good deed to get the fruits for that. One small good deed every day is all that our Shastras and Puranas, all of them ask us to do. And Secondly, it is the greatness of Shankara that he ensured that the lady got the fruit that she deserved. Here, the further narrations of this incident are told in two ways. The first is people tell that Shankaracharya or young Shankara, he composed a stotra on Mahalakshmi immediately and sung it in praise of Mahalakshmi, and being pleased by it, Lakshmi appeared and blessed the lady. The second interpretation is that this incident happened, and later on, when Shankara started composing stotras and he wanted to compose a stotra on Mahalakshmi, he remembered this incident and then composed a stotra according to it. Whatever be the way the story happened, the result was a beautiful stotra that Shankaracharya has composed called Kanakadhara Stotram. This Kanakadhara Stotram is told to be very potent and very capable of erasing very ill poverty and removing ill poverty and blessing the people who chant this with devotion with all the prosperity. I will now chant the very first shloka of this Kanakadhara Stotram, and we'll conclude this with this shloka. Angam harev pulakabhushanamashrayanti भृङ्गाङ्गनेव मुकुलाभरणं तमालं अङ्गीकृता विभूतिरपाङ्गलीला माङ्गल्यदास्तु मम मङ्गलदेवतायाः. So we'll conclude this video here, and this is one part of Shankara Balyam, the childhood of Shankara. The next video will be the second part of Shankara Balyam before we go into the sannyasa life of Adi Shankaracharya. Ram Ram Ram.